Are you looking for ways to unlock the potential of your team? In this small course, the best-selling author of High Performance Leadership, Mr. Paul Robinson, is going to show you how to unleash and develop people through effective coaching and mentoring. Learn the art of developing others and create a workforce that is motivated, engaged, and creative. Discover the latest tools, resources, and techniques to make sure that your people are always pushing their boundaries.
There's a saying, weak leaders are like travel agents and great leaders are tour guides. The job of a leader is to give directions, to show the way, and then get out of the way. Leaders who micromanage and block the path of their followers is shrinking their capacity for excellence. People are most effective when they can be completely themselves and can bring their full identity to work. When leaders let their people to be themselves and encourage them to use their full potential, leaders are actually doing the job of unleashing their people. There are many ways to unleash people and develop them to be at their best. The first is caring for people. Practice radical candor. If you don't care about your team, then why should they care about your leadership? After an extensive 3-year study of the critical variables of leadership success, the Center for Creative Leadership concluded that the only statistically significant factor differentiating the very best leaders from the mediocre ones is about caring for people. Former Googler Ken Scott, author of the excellent book Radical Candor, says that being a great boss means saying what you really think in a way that still lets people know you care. Radical candor is a leadership approach that involves being honest and direct with your team while also showing them that you care personally about their well-being. Radical candor is about finding a balance between being honest about your feedback and caring. When giving feedback, be specific about what you like or didn't like about someone's work or behavior. Use concrete examples to make your point and help your team members understand that they need to do things differently from now on. Provide feedback in a timely manner so that your team members have a chance to adjust their behavior and improve. Feedbacks are not just passing judgments, it's giving suggestions for improvement and caring for an individual. To care means to value people, respecting them for who they are and accepting them with all their strengths and weaknesses. Feedbacks need to be timely and private. Don't wait for the annual performance review to give your feedback. Build others' confidence. Another way to unleash people is to build their confidence. Confidence building is essential for your team. You need to build the confidence of people to take on tough challenges and difficult assignments. People should feel that they are equipped to step up to bigger targets, shorter deadlines, and more. Leaders can build confidence of their followers. First of all, trusting your follower is a sign of reassuring your followers' confidence. Moreover, you can foster self-confidence in other people. The way to build confidence in people is to first show your confidence in their talent and capabilities. As a leader, help your followers discover their hidden talents. Engage people in critical thinking and be clear about what they can do. Understand their viewpoints and plan of action. Bottom line, create clarity with your team. Another way to build confidence is to raise the standard. You set the bar higher because you expect your followers to perform better. When you keep raising the expectation from people and giving the support on the other side to achieve their big dreams, you are instilling confidence in them. Pygmalion effect. This is called the Pygmalion effect. The Pygmalion effect is a phenomenon where people's performance is influenced by the expectations that others have of them. Research has shown that managers and other authority figures can unintentionally or intentionally can influence the performance of their subordinates through the Pygmalion effect. When leaders have high expectations from their team, they tend to provide them with more attention, opportunities, and feedback, which in turn leads to better performance. Overall, the Pygmalion effect highlights the importance of having high expectations and positive attitude towards others, as it can significantly impact their performance and success. Give people the support they need on one side and then challenge them on the other. Set clear expectations, believe in people that they can believe in themselves, and push them to be more courageous. Rock the boat, practice courage, be the evangelist for courageous and bold decisions. Empower people. You can unleash people by practicing empowerment. Empowering people is giving them the power and the autonomy to do things on their own. One of the Google work rules is that give people slightly more trust, freedom, and authority than you're comfortable giving them. If you're not nervous, you haven't given them enough. Give people autonomy if you want them to be more accountable. When John Chambers, former CEO of Cisco, hired his first vice president, Doug Allard, into the company, he gave the new VP of Customer Support control and made sure that respective roles were clear. He said, Doug, when it comes to know how to run your area of the company, you get 51% of the word and you are 100% responsible for the result. The question is, if you're a leader, would you give 51% of the word to one of your subordinates to decide? One of the challenges in leading others is getting the balance right between delegating to others and keeping an eye on progress. Too much involvement could result in the other person or team thinking that you don't trust them. Too little involvement could mean that you find it too late that things are off track and deadlines are going to be missed. Making the time at the outset to brief things, check their understanding and agree, review points is a simple but effective way of getting the balance right. Remember, empowerment is about giving power and autonomy. And by doing that, you're developing leaders. Create more leaders. Unleashing people also means that allowing people to step into the leadership roles. The job of a leader is to create more leaders. Most people assume that leaders simply create more followers, but one of the most important things a leader can do is actually to create more leaders. For an organization to grow, it needs leaders at all levels. Moreover, your job as a leader is to make sure that others become more successful. I repeat, the job of a leader is to make others more successful. Indeed, make other people more successful than they are. Remember, leadership is a service. It's about serving others. Remember, a lighthouse doesn't exist just to shine a light on itself. The primary purpose of a lighthouse is to guide others. So be that lighthouse, throw light on others. If you want to increase your level of leadership in an organization, you must first increase the level of leadership of the people who report to you. Remember, we rise by lifting others. And ultimately, we can unleash people by helping them become leaders. Leaders of successful organizations develop others. They constantly give constructive feedbacks to train their people with more skills, mentor and coach them to be more effective at work. So there are 5 things or 5 ways of developing people in your organization. There are 5 effective methods to develop people in your organization. They are feedback, appreciation, training, coaching, and mentoring. So let's delve into each of these to know more about what it all stands for. 1. Give constructive feedback. Constructive criticism begins with the right intention, as you're using it to speak your truth in a way that it leads to the other person towards betterment. You have to emphasize that your opinion is different and how you think are different from what others think about it, because you have a different background, you have experience and ethnicity, gender, and present it in a platter garnished with kindness. Don't give this shitty sandwich feedback by sugarcoating two ends. Often in the corporate world, there's a tried and tested method of sandwiching one negative between two positive aspects of a person. Like a department head can congratulate her colleague on cracking a huge deal and then subtly slip into work on her oratory skills and then criticize on the huge discount she gave to the client. The problem with that is that it has this tendency to reduce the impact of what needs to be said, and often enough comes across as inauthentic. This politically correct method might set a good tone, but not necessarily meet the outcome. So you need to keep it real. Constructive criticism has two phases. One is the evaluation stage, where you make an assessment about the other person's strengths and weaknesses. The second is the suggestion phase, where you make recommendations that will help the other person to be better. For example, upon an evaluation on a follower's work, a leader can rate the performance and then provide suggestions to improve the rating. For example, they can say, I find your work on a scale of 1 to 10, let's say at 7, and if you want to go to 8, I suggest you need to do this and that and so on. Number 2, appreciation. Another effective way to develop people is through appreciation. See, what you appreciates in value. When employees feel valued and recognized for their contributions, they are more likely to be engaged, motivated, and committed to their work. Appreciation can take many forms, from a simple thank you note to a formal recognition programs. So you need to have an eye to catch people doing right, not catching them doing wrong. Don't train your eyes to find fault. Train your eyes to see the good in others. When employees feel appreciated, the morale and job satisfaction increases. When managers show appreciation for their employees, it helps to build up very positive working relationships. When employees feel appreciated for their work, they are more likely to take on new challenges and seek out opportunities for growth and development. Here, you do the right people development because you are reinforcing their strength rather than just pointing out only their mistakes. Number 3, training. Another means of people development is training. Training your employees is an essential part of ensuring that your team is equipped with the necessary skills and knowledge to do their job effectively. Training helps your people to build their competencies and attitudes to do the work more effectively. To do an effective training, you need to assess the training need by identifying areas that needs training and then come up with a plan or objectives to meet those needs. Then select training materials that are relevant to your employees' job responsibilities, that are aligned with the training objectives, that you can assign to an external or an internal trainer who can work with them or to facilitate the training. And once training is done, make evaluations. Determine whether the training was helpful or not. Or did you meet the desired objectives or not? Gather feedback from your employees and use it to refine the training plan and make any necessary adjustments in the future. Remember, employee training is an important and ongoing process that requires continuous evaluation and refinement. So focus on training people regularly, equip them with skills and competence that will give them the confidence to take on difficult tasks at work. Number 4 is coaching. Coaching is another method of developing people. Sometimes leaders act as a coach to their people. At the very core of being a great coach is truly believing that your job and your privilege is to help other people become more successful than you. This is an important distinction from simply helping people become more successful because it changes the amount of effort that you put in. Most leaders can typically put in a relatively small amount of effort to help someone grow or learn or become more successful. But to try to get someone to excel beyond you is a much more challenging task that requires more time and resources. So the question to ask yourself is, are you willing to do it? On top of this benefit, coaching others is an effective method for reinforcing and transferring learning. The best coaches don't use the same coaching style for each individual or team member. They are flexible enough to adapt to the situation at hand, different strokes for different folks. Moreover, you can only coach people who are coachable. Remember, the teacher appears when the student is ready. So as a leader, your job is to identify the hunger in people and give them the opportunity and support they need accordingly. Number 5, mentoring. Another process for people development is mentoring. Mentoring is a formal or informal relationship established between an experienced, knowledgeable employee and an inexperienced or a new novice or an employee. It gives less experienced employees valuable feedback, insight, and support while passing down wisdom and institutional knowledge. By acting as mentors, leaders can help their team members develop the skills and knowledge that they need to succeed in the job or in the roles as they grow as professionals. In turn, this can help build a more engaged, more motivated, and productive workforce. You can also do peer mentoring between diverse team members to understand the nature of the work and how it impacts the work altogether. So use all these methods of unleashing and developing people. On the responsibility that as a leader, your job is to help people deliver the results. You're responsible for the environment, the tone at work, the enthusiasm they feel, and the confidence that they should have on themselves. As a leader, when you invest in the emotional equity of people, you can achieve marvelous results together. You don't do this by managing them, you do this by leading them. So don't manage people, unleash them. It's a great philosophy that suggests that leaders should not focus on controlling and directing their team members, but rather on empowering them to reach their full potential. As a leader, your job is to unleash people to act on their strengths and passion. This means once you show them the way, then don't run the way, just get out of the way.